it's a little bit different than what we normally touch on, but I think this is an interesting conversation because I've seen just a lot of conversation about this company recently, and I really want to kind of jump into that and dissect why there's such a disdain for them, including myself, obviously, because I've had bad experiences with them as well. But there's another company added to the list of disgruntled companies against Toys Wonderland, right? Toys Wonderland has a pretty lengthy track record in the public eye of upsetting people and being a company that people are just really not that thrilled to buy from and that they don't really like, right? So that's something, and I totally understand. I'm on that boat too. I'm not a Toys Wonderland fan. I've been outspoken against them for many years. I just am not a fan of kind of how they run business and what people say about them. So Mars Toys posted a statement recently, kind of addressing something that Toys Wonderland had put out there. Long story short, Toys Wonderland made a post about the Mars Toys Ghost Hunter figure, saying the figure was delayed due to quality control issues. And then Mars Toys comes in and says, no, that's not actually true. It was issues with Toys Wonderland not paying their invoice, and now they're lying to their customers and throwing us under the bus, essentially. So they said they're not supplying Toys Wonderland with Mars Toys figures anymore. That's not the first company to say that. And then somehow Toys Wonderland still ends up with the figures anyway. So I don't know how this really shakes out. But the question is, should collectors care? And Riley, I have to ask you, because at the end of the day, most collectors, probably what they're going to care about the most is their figures, right? But there just seems to be a lot of noise right now surrounding T-dubs. And then, of course, this company, Mars Toys, which people love because they're Mars Toys Prank Joker. And then other figures that they've done have been really good. Yeah. It just seems like another sort of questionable thing about Toys Wonderland. Riley, what are your thoughts about this? Do you think, I mean, it seems like collectors care, but should we? What do you think?
Right. I think definitely collectors should care, obviously. I mean, this is one company where, like we talked about, there's just countless times. I feel like every time I refresh Facebook, I just see a post about someone having issues with Toys Wonderland. It's like, it's getting really, really out of hand at this point. I mean, I still don't really understand how it really works with Toys Wonderland, why they have this many issues, like just paying figures off for customers who are paying money, giving them money. Like, I just don't understand it. And like a lot of people have said before, I don't understand why people would still order with Toys Wonderland. For me, it's just all the evidence is there for me. I would never order from Toys Wonderland. I haven't ordered from Toys Wonderland. But like I said, I think this is really great because there's newer collectors in this hobby. People who are newer to this hobby, even myself, I feel like even when I started, like I didn't do YouTube, I just started collecting Hot Toys. Like when I was really young, I was interested in them. I would look on Toys Wonderland and I was like, these prices are crazy. I'm never going to collect these. Why is this like $1,000? But in reality, you can probably find it for cheaper on other sites. But like I said, I didn't have the knowledge or just the evidence or anything to know that. So I think it's really important. I think collectors should care because, like I said, for people who just don't know and order from this, they'll have to deal with the consequences of the delays, the orders. And I think it's great that Mars Toys acknowledged it because it's just going to help further show that Toys Wonderland is probably not the safest place to buy figures from. So I would say, yeah, don't order from them. And I think collectors should care because, yeah, it's a pretty big deal. I mean, like people talk about, there's just so many stories of delays or they have to wait like 6 months. It's on a boat or etc. They haven't paid off their money for their figures yet. I just would steer clear from it. And like you said, I think collectors should definitely care about this because it's pretty serious.
Right. And I'm glad we got an interesting clarification here from Gina, who is absolutely awesome. Love Gina. Got to get Gina back on here for sure. Yeah. She said Mars Toys came out and posted a disclaimer that didn't specifically mention Toys Wonderland, but after more buzz, Mars Toys finally clarified that the original post was in reference, in fact, to Toys Wonderland. So very interesting clarification there. But at the end of the day, yes, they did clarify it was Toys Wonderland they were talking about. And Riley, I just feel like with Toys Wonderland, the problem is, I feel like more often than not, if you order from them, that's like rolling the dice. Yes, you're probably going to be okay, but you could not be okay. And that's a problem, right? Because from almost every other company you order from, you're not really rolling the dice. You're like, it's pretty much a guaranteed. You're probably going to definitely be okay, right? You have a good company you're ordering from. But Toys Wonderland, it's like, there's almost like a 20% chance you're not going to be okay. So, but 80% that you will be. And that's just kind of like something to factor in. It's just, I don't know. It's just something that I think we need to factor into this conversation. And like you said, Riley, I think it's just a matter of the only reason you should care really, I think, is because if you're ordering something, you want to feel confident about your purchase. When collecting is stressful, it's not fun. So that's kind of my point here. But Kiko, I know you might have a different take on this. So I want to hear your thoughts on this. What do you think? Should collectors care about this?
There's what you just said a minute ago is so important, saying that stress free collecting is what you should shoot for. And when you order from overseas, there is that moment where you're like, is this really coming? Because you get a tracking number and you hope that it comes through. Now, I'm really a big proponent of I can't talk unless I have done business with. So, you know what I'm saying? So I've never purchased a single item from Toys Wonderland. Most people know through all my real reviews and all those things, I get my stuff from Pop Collectibles. I have shared my frustrations with them before when we had an issue, and they addressed that. Most recently, there's something that got stuck in DHL for like 60 days, and they helped me with the receipts and getting them to customs. It was my suit Winwoo, you know that, and I spent honestly months with those figures tied up into potentially where they were going to get destroyed by U.S. Customs because there was an illegal issue that they found potentially about intellectual property, whatever it may be. But Pop Collectibles helped me through from the step it was ordered to it finally getting to my door. And so that's great customer service. Now, that's the whole point of what we're talking about here, is that it's such a hot button issue. And I know this segment, Will, is going to get a lot of views because it says Toys Wonderland, and naturally that gravitates towards the company and the YouTube personality behind it. Now, this isn't supposed to be a segment about Justin at all. But he's going to have to address the fact that as the biggest YouTube channel, most people, as you said, well, no, everyone knows not to buy from Toys Wonderland anymore. Well, as kind of the gatekeeper to the beginning of collecting, stop, Drago, is that people, he doesn't like Toys Wonderland either, is that people will see his channel and that's where they first go. They don't look for anything else. They don't know about any buy sell trades. They don't know anything to do. And so as a person who represents that as being the first entry point for collectors, you do have to take some responsibility for that. And so that's why he's kind of tied, you know, at the hip with this company, because he talks about them and people see that. But what I don't like is blaming him for their issues, because that's not what it's about. If you have an issue with the company, sure, blame them all you want. But I do think that because you can't talk about Toys Wonderland without Justin, you just can't. I do think, and I think he's recently come up with, you know, some clarifying thoughts about some things with his Facebook thread. I'm not on Facebook that much, so I don't know. Maybe, Will, you can address that, about how there's been issues and they're working through that, and that he's trying to be the best person he can for it. But it's a complicated situation for sure, because whenever you're dealing with potentially not getting a product, that's a bad sign and that's a bad look. And this is the thing that scares me the most about all these. I love Pop Collectibles. They've taken care of me. But at any moment, if these companies go under, which what Mars is kind of hinting at, if they're not paying their invoices, that's why I don't pre-order figures with any of these people. Should collectors care? Well, yeah, because if you pre-order and then they fold, you're not getting your money back. And they're certainly not going to be giving it to you by any means. And so that's the thing, is that it's a very, very tricky situation. But man, if you're out there and you don't know like the right place to get stuff, just go from an authorized dealership to where you can go and get your money back. You might have to wait a little bit longer, but at least you're going to get your product and your money is going to be situated. That's what it comes down to for me.
Yeah, and I can comment on this because I think people are pretty much aware already that, you know, Justin and I are friends. So, you know, we are going to do a live stream at some point on his channel, I think next week, and we were going to do the one this week, but I was obviously pretty preoccupied building these things, so we rescheduled it, and he was nice enough to accommodate me. I'll say exactly what I'll say on his stream. I've been very consistent about it from the beginning. Like he and I are really good friends. And honestly, I'll say it right on the money. I don't think Justin is a bad guy. I'll say that. I've been friends with him. I don't know if you would call it enemies. We had sort of a public breakup, which people knew about. And a large reason for that was Toys Wonderland, which a lot of people already knew and speculated. That was a reason, that was a part of the problem then. But what happened was eventually, and Riley knew this because I talked to him about it, I told Justin, I was like, look, I view you as a friend and I don't want to end a friendship over business affiliations. I don't like that he's affiliated with Toys Wonderland. I've said that to him from the beginning. He knows that. We're still friends despite that, right? I don't like Toys Wonderland. He works with them. That's fine. I don't have to work with them. I can work with him and still be friends with him, and he can work with whoever he wants to. I don't like Toys Wonderland, like I mentioned, but you know, at the end of the day, I think it goes both ways. I've told Justin this, and he knows that he has some responsibility in people trusting his recommendations and where they go. However, buyers also have responsibility in knowing where they're going and spending their own money. So it goes both ways. Yes, each side has responsibility. No one is free of that. that's why, I partnered with Comic Concepts, not because, like it's just like this amazing thing where I'm just getting like all this free shit. It's because I trust them. I am getting a better deal on things, right? Sure. But at the end of the day, I trust them, and I went with someone who I knew was reputable, that's not going to fuck people over, and also not going to make me look bad. Because then if I go and recommend Comic Concepts and Josh is fucking everyone over, then that's going to make me look like an ass. So, and that's something I think that every YouTuber who's in any influence position, not just collecting, anywhere, has to think about when you're making a business affiliation. Is this worth it? And that's something we've talked about, and I've talked to about everyone who wants to hear my opinion on it. So to me, that's really just what it is. So, and that's kind of just how I view it. Like I've had with anything with YouTube, right? We've talked about this. Anything with YouTube, you're going to have friends, you're going to have falling outs, whatever, right? But I'm not going to end friendships over business affiliations. If Toys Wonderland was like committing legitimate crimes and like doing stuff like that, then I'd be like, okay, I might have to draw the line somewhere. But
Right.
Justin, I'm not going to stop being his friend because he affiliates with a company that I don't like or don't respect. That's just how it is. So, that's just kind of how I view it. So everyone's going to be different, but I would not recommend Toys Wonderland. I don't recommend you shop there. I don't like it. I don't like them, but they're going to do their own thing, right? So to me, that's what I would say about it. I think collectors should care, though, like Kiko said, because you got to know where your money is going. You got to know where everything's going. And look, let me just tell you, like, I think, I'm just going to be, I'm always transparent and honest about this stuff, right? Like, I think Justin's getting a lot of hate right now. And I've already talked to him about this and said, this is something that you just might have to accept, because if you're going to promote Toys Wonderland, this is going to come with the territory, right? You have to just realize, and I'm sure he knows that, like, they are a debatable company. Kiko disappeared. They are, people don't like them. So to me, and that's, just something that it's just how it is. But, I will say Justin is not a bad guy at all. I will stand on that. Like, of course, I don't agree with everything he does or says, as he doesn't agree with everything I do and say. But I will say that, I'm not going to end a friendship over that. So that's what I would say. And I don't mind saying it publicly or to anyone who asks me. So it's just, I just think that's important. And I think at the end of the day, that's something that we all need to be accountable for. We all need to be accountable for where we spend our money and who we're listening to. And if you don't like Justin, you don't trust Justin, then don't listen to Justin. That's pretty much it. If you don't like me or you don't like Riley, then don't listen to me or Riley. That's just who it is. But I just think, I think it's important to, that's all. And look, that's fine. If you don't trust people, that's totally fine. But, it just, everyone's going to have their own thoughts. And I just think it's, it is what it is. Honesty is super important to me. So that's how I view it. And that's why I'm having this conversation now. I don't mind having it publicly, because it's like, I think sometimes people get a little carried away with some of the stuff they say, but
For sure.
Nonetheless, we're going to see. Anyway, guys, thanks for listening to me go on about that one. And of course, Riley and Kiko.
Well said.
And yeah, I mean, look, Mars Toys went after T-Dubs. They didn't really give a fuck. They just went right after him. So,
Right.
And look, it's not the first time I've heard that complaint about T-Dubs, and it is what it is. So, yeah. So, and look, everyone can choose what to do, what they want to do, and go from there. We did get a super chat though from Mr. Graham. Dude, I don't know how I fucking forgot to give Graham a shout out with all the ModJK shit. Riley, I know Graham helped you.
Yes, he helped
Graham
me.
helped
I was
me,
watching the videos.
Bro, I not only did I watch his videos, I voice called him, or sorry, I FaceTimed him on Facebook, and my mom and I were talking to him, and he was helping us a little bit with some of this stuff. He literally was helping me like while he was like looking after his kids. Like, dude, Graham's videos are great. He's so helpful and great, guys. Check out Jedi's Night's Watch. Super great dude, just super kind and generous, and just great content too. So
For sure.
Yeah, I know. Graham's like giving my $1.99 back. I'm sorry, bro. Yeah, that's my fault. That's my fault for not being more upfront about that. I don't know how I fucking forgot. Graham, you're in there, bro. Trust me. So anyway, guys, sorry, I don't mean to bring too much drama to the show, but I wanted to address the Toys Wonderland thing just because it's a hot button topic right now. And I warned these two before the panelists before I brought them on.
It's my job to bring drama. You know that.
Yeah. It's Kiko.
Yeah.
Karen collects. Come on.
Yeah. Karen, dude, I actually really like the name Karen Collect. I honestly think that has
change it.
Yeah. I think Kiko should change it. Karen Incincy or Karen Collects Incincy.
I don't have the bandwidth to do that today.
Yeah. That's true. You don't, honestly. Yeah, you don't.